Hello. Introduction. Mama Chronicles. Been a thing forever. Born to be a mother. My name is Johanna. Little introduction. 54. Mother, grandmother. But the reason for Mama Chronicles is growing up, my mother mentally ill. In fact, I got to watch the last stages of her life. She drank herself to death. She died when I was 16. She was 49. I have birthed and raised 5 children myself. But there's a saying, be careful, you cross my threshold, I will hug you and squeeze you and make you mine. I collect hearts. Always meant to be a mother. Always knew it. And the reason for this video in particular, because there's so many things, wisdom, that hopefully I can just share my story and help give you some answers for your path. When I was young, the reason for telling you about my mother is there was no mother advice anywhere. There's no internet. There was no other surrogate mother in my life. I'm one of 12. I'm number 9 in the lineup. And I was the nurturer for the last 5. You know, I just automatically filled that role out of necessity, but out of heart also. But I so badly just wanted to have a mom. Someone to say, hey, how do you do this? Guide me on that. So, as it happens, through our life, the thing that we did not have is the thing that we become. So here I am. And I feel like the most important message that I need to get out through this is I need to tell you the story of my Tom. Thomas was a teenage pregnancy, and so Mom died when I was 16. Thomas when I was 18. You know, he was mixed between myself and African American, which was not accepted. So teen pregnancy, basically dead mother, older father who was amazing, he did the best that he could, and a child that multiple times, even before being born, was attacked. So I left the South and came out West. I am now living in Colorado. And I'm not going to go through Thomas's entire life right now because let's skip to the end. 6.5 years ago, right before his 30th birthday, he committed suicide. And the reason for this video, because I always look at the angle, okay, what do I need a mom to step in and say to me at this moment? To lose my oldest son in such a violent way. Back in the beginning, I needed someone to tell me because I couldn't breathe. I didn't sleep for days. I went into a massive depression, got broken heart syndrome, A heart damage that almost killed me. Amazing trauma therapist, so that's one thing. When you're going through something that is that devastating, get guidance. Find a good fit, but find your counselor. I cannot say enough. My trauma therapist saved my life. Truly, he did. But the thing I needed to know in the beginning, because when you grieve a child, you go to the grave with them. Every part of you grieves. Your body, your spirit, your intellect, your soul. My son biologically is a part of me, not to mention the bond of heart. So when they give up their body, my body felt that separation. I cried so many tears, literally, for the first 2 years. I had cuts. Just avenues, red cuts for the tears to flow. And sometimes it was the sobbing, gasping. But I think what's even worse and sad is the tears that just roll. And that still happens. They standing there. And a wave of grief will come over me. And the tears just roll. I stop and honor those moments. But what I needed to know in the beginning, I did not see how you could survive something like this. I wish someone had told me there is life and light at some point in this journey, that you will get through this. I told my trauma counselor at one point, I said, I'm leaning in. And he's like, what do you mean you're leaning in? I said, it's kind of like childbirth. And I said, I know you haven't gone through childbirth, you're a man. But, I did natural childbirth, except for the C-sections, but natural childbirth. And I did breathing, embraced the pain, and worked with the pain with my body to deliver the child. Very painful transition, as everyone knows, childbirth, you don't always survive. In fact, I barely survived childbirth, redhead, hemorrhaged every time. But I did. And, we don't always understand the pain part. Why does childbirth have to hurt? But just as childbirth, it hurts. As that soul transitions. Grief, death. It's another painful transition. So I told him, I said, I'm going to try to work with the pain. I'm not going to run. I'm not going to hide. I'm not going to deny it. I'm leaning in, and I'm pretty sure it will literally rip the flesh off of my bones and most likely kill me. But I felt like it was the only way I could approach this. So just as the buffalo, it's like the only creature that goes into the storm face first, but they come out faster on the other side than the animals that run from the storm. So face first, heart first, body, heart and soul first. I leaned in to a darkness and pain that I can't even explain. Words do not. Back to childbirth, I can't verbally tell you what childbirth feels like. Something you have to experience. The death of a child is the same way, but I pray I would never wish this on anyone. But unfortunately, this is a reality. The suicide rate insane. And people bury children for other reasons. And it doesn't even matter the age. I mean, the loss of a child is the loss of a child, no matter if it's an older woman burying a 40-year-old or someone who just lost a 12-year-old or an infant. I needed to know I could survive it. That's what I needed someone to tell me. And not just survive. I needed someone to say. And you don't want to, and I can tell you, you don't want to accept it in those first moments because you feel so much darkness and almost guilty that there could be love and light back into your life, even without your child there. But my Tom, it's what he wants. The biggest gift I can give to my dead son is to live life, to love life, vicariously do it for him, for the years that he gave up. And for my living children, my God, I'm a fumbling mother. Now I'm a mother of children with so much trauma, and they're beautiful souls. And Tom that I buried, beautiful soul. But there it is. And so I will continue to make these videos. So this is my introduction. Johanna, 1 of 12, biological mother of 5, now stepmother of 3, and the 5. And yes, I know Thomas has passed, but he is still one of mine. Body or no body, I'm still his mother. So he's included in that count and number. And then I have 1 granddaughter at this point. And there's just so much. Basically, I wish someone just had told me. I always wanted a mother. And this is the thing that I just trying to figure out. I am that mother. And I can lead with my heart, and my biggest gift is my capacity to love. Which means the capacity for pain is really high. But it's worth it. My one daughter, Camille, asked me, actually she asked me even before we lost Tom. She goes, Mom, 5 kids, really? She goes, I'm not going to judge you, and it's after she had her baby. So she understood a mother's heart in a different way at this point. She goes, if you could go back, would you do it differently? Would you have so many children? And my answer, and remember this is pre-Tom's death date, I said, that many children, I don't know if I did a good job. Jury's still out on that one. I said, but as a mom, I have loved every second of it. I said, but is actually and a gift. My greatest sorrows and my greatest joys come through my children. It gives me passion and purpose. And it truly enlivens inside of me what I'm doing in this life. Now, fast forward. Camille, and all of my children were very close. But I looked at Camille, and it was probably about a month after Tom's death, and we were looking out over the ridge that we had sat there with Thomas many times. There's just her and I at this moment. And I said, sweetheart, the answer's still the same. She goes, what? The answer's still the same. I would still have all 5 of you. Even knowing the fate of what Tom's life ended up being. I would still have all 5 of you. I would still fight for all 5 of you. And my greatest sorrows and my greatest pains come through my children. You are my passion. You are my reason in so many ways. And you set the example for me. My children walk. I told Camille just the other day, I said, basically 5 pieces of my heart have been just walking around on this planet outside of my body. And now a granddaughter. But I love that. And so I'm here to give you hope. My world went black and white, and that will be a whole other video on stages of grief. But I figured out how to bring back the color. I figured out how to bring back the warmth of the sun. I figured out how to hear the birds sing again. I figured out how to set grief aside to feel love again. My heart to you. And I don't know if you're a mother or father or brother, sister or grandfather. It doesn't matter. When you bury someone that you are that connected to, that's so raw and fresh. You can survive this. And not just survive it, you can thrive. I see so many people, I come walking, The Walking Dead, after such loss. And I wasn't going to do that. I'm either dead or I'm alive. And I've chosen life. Talk to you soon.